the season sweep of the Redlegs.
Yeah, I talked with Jim this week. He was talking about the podcast and stuff, and he's up on the list here. We may see him in the hot corner here coming up. Nice. Jim's always tough, so good game out there for Jim. We had Expos and the Dragons. Ended up being a short game, 14-4 over the Dragons. Again, Expos coming strong. They have the guys there, and we had James I'm Slumping Ingram. 3-run homer. That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, James, he's been around a long time, a lot of different teams in this league, and a 3-run bomb to help lead those Expos who have made their way all the way back to the 500 mark. So good for the Expos, playing good in that first season. So Ingram, I know he was kind of a late pickup. I think he started the season on the Dodgers, but I'm pretty sure James lives in Kentucky, and all the way up to Foundation's kind of a long haul for him. And
right.
Expos were kind of short on guys, so it looks like that ended up being a pretty good matchup there, Ray.
Hey, anybody you can hit a bomb and stuff. They got a good stick. Bring them on. Next game is the Colts in the Hustle. So this was a good game. We ended up walking off the Hustle in the ninth. We had to go 9. Burke pitched excellent ball. He really battled and played well. We had pretty good sticks going on, and always a tight game with the Hustle. It seems like every single time we come out and play them, it's a 1 or 2 run ball game. And again, it was right there. It was 4-2 going into the 7th, and bottom of the 7th, and we scored 2 runs to tie it up, to send it into extras, and was able to battle. And Wren gets us a walk off with a single up the middle. It was nice.
And good to see Kevin Wren back. Hasn't he been dealing with some injuries this year?
Yeah, he's still not fully back. His arm, his shoulder, it's basically his throwing is what is what we got to watch him for. But his hitting and stuff, he's been able to hit. But he's getting stronger and getting closer to coming back. He actually played in the field a little bit, be it first base, but he was still able to play a little bit in this game. So he's getting really close to coming back full speed.
That's good. Good news to hear. One of the good guys in the league, and Kevin, certainly one of the Colts stalwart players, and one of your guys you count on a lot during the season, and one of the guys that goes down to Florida with Murph and the guys with the South Bend Cardinals. So
yep.
See him down there as well. The next game involved the Yankees, who wrapped up probably the worst week in our team's recent memory, probably in the last 5-6 years. Lost to the Bulls. Jeff Barger, our starting pitcher, really good stuff, but the Bulls are right on him. They got 7 runs on him in the first 3 innings, and it kind of stayed that way till the end. Made some substitutions, and a couple of unearned runs late ran the score out to 12-2. So pretty much, as far as I'm concerned, a forgettable game. Hopefully turn the page. Hopefully we can do what the Braves did with the 13-0 game we had on them and flip the script next time around. If this were football and it were game film, I would burn it. So, but all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah.
Out at Testerman, Deerfield beat the Brewers 10-1. It looked like Deerfield able to sneak past the century, at least according to Jay Lowry. Beloved Marine, a man named Chief, that would be Mark Nicastro, slipped past the century. We had posted and allowed Deerfield to 9 to assassinate Captain Mariani in his sleep. His Viking funeral was most glorious. Give your love to my mother. It's back. Mother's back.
Mother's
gone
back.
For a while.
Yeah, maybe he's listening in on that, trying to get her back in there. Good thing you're there. She is getting pissed off at him. Got to get the mom in there.
And I always like how Deerfield kind of makes light of Chief's age. Chief's about 60, I'm going to say 60, 61 years old. It says in the write-up, Chief sneaks past the century with his 1,000th career hit, which I don't think is accurate. But if you look on Deerfield on the website, you can, look up and check out their roster. And it, goes over everyone's birthday. And if you look on Chief's birthday, I always thought this was pretty funny. I think John Cattleman probably put this in. They have his birth date listed as 6/7 of 1942, and it says he's 77 years old, which is a bit of an exaggeration. But, I guess it's really not that far off. But you got Mel listed as 70 and Pat McCaffrey listed as 81. So a little bit of humor there by the Deerfield guys putting it on the website. Putting some ages in there that maybe are a bit exaggerated.
Hey, this guy's having some fun.
I think Chief he'll still have a full head of hair and still be playing in this league when he is 77, to be fair.
Hey, hope so.
Pretty good chance of that. No shortage of good candidates for Player of the Week, Ray. We talked about Jarrell Bristol, Nate Carell for the Meridians, James Ingram, Jake Evie. Those guys hit home runs. For me, I think I'm going to have to roll with Bristol just because he single-handedly killed us on Sunday, and it looks like he continued that assault on the Sting on Wednesday night with 5 more hits. So I'm going to nominate Jarrell Bristol of the Dayton Braves for this week's Player of the Week.
I'm going to double up on that. That's the one I was looking at and was going there too. So this week he kind of takes us both on that one. So Bristol, you get the Player of the Week. Bag of seeds, my friend, bag of seeds.
Keep him off the turf at Riverfront, because I did get a little message from the folks out at Riverfront on Thursday morning. So keep if you're listening, no seeds at Riverfront. We don't want those out there. Don't want any nasty emails coming back the other way. So keep those seeds off there.
Yeah, that's it. Those get nasty when it clogs up the drains and stuff. It doesn't let the fields drain out real well. And from what I understand, it is super expensive for them to have to get that cleaned out when that happens. So
and getting them out of the turf too is
Yep.
what I understand a
Yep.
big time issue. So
Yep.
keep those seeds off the turf. But good week, guys. 20 ball games in. Hopefully we'll be talking about 20 more again next week. But you know what time it is now, Ray? It's time to go over to the Hot Corner, the weekly segment where we catch up with players and coaches making news around the CABL.
And this episode of The Hot Corner is brought to you by McFall Firm, LLC. If you've been hurt in a car accident, you know you're going to have to deal with someone's insurance company, right? You know the stress is coming. So why not hire an attorney that used to represent insurance companies? Attorney Tanner McFall with the McFall Firm is that guy. Former assistant prosecutor and former insurance defense counsel for one of America's largest insurance companies. From their team to yours, Attorney Tanner McFall levels the playing field. Give McFall a call. 513-469-0888. Again, that number is 513-469-0888. Or check him out online at McFallFirm.com. That's McFallFirm.com. Protect your recovery. Call McFall today.
This week's guest is a teammate of Ray's on the Colt 45s. He helps to coordinate the Colts' annual trip to the Roy Hobbs World Series in Fort Myers down in October. He's also been instrumental in help building the current over 25 Colt 45s group. That's one of 3 teams that the Colt organization fields. To sort that out and much more, our pleasure to welcome into the Hot Corner, Bruce Slayer Gunning. Bruce, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Bruce, for those who aren't aware, Colts organization has been around a long time. They play in Miami Valley Roy Hobbs, got a 40 and over team, a 50 and over team. But what we want to know, how did you get involved with the Colts organization and Bob Hawkins?
Oh, it's funny. So I started, it was like 11 years ago. And a buddy of mine, Trey Seibel, goes by Haas. Him and I, we used to bowl and everything together. And he's like, one night at bowling, he's like, hey, I know you used to play baseball. I met this guy and they have a baseball team. Are you any interested? I'm like, what? Of course I am. I'm like, adult baseball? I'm like, yeah. So I went out and my first practice, and that's actually how I got my nickname. I think you guys talked about it, addressed it before in a podcast or two before. But I was putting some pine tar on my bat. Trey was knelt down, and he came up as my bat went down and clocked him across the eye and gave him a big gash.
So you got that right off the bat, right? The first year as a Colt, you got nicknamed Slayer. Is that right?
My very first practice. Haas Slayer. It's actually Haas Slayer.
Now, this is what I want to know. I know Trey's a big-time bowler. Were you ever able to beat Trey? Because I know he was like on the King of Bowling and stuff. You're rocking the mullet back in the days. No?
Yeah, no.
I would have loved to see that.
Trey's a pretty good bowler from what I understand. I was looking at those old videos. You never were able to beat him. We're going to clarify that now.
I mean, I might have beat him every once in a while, any given Wednesday, but no, he's by far a better bowler than I am.
Well,
by
Bruce,
far than him.
Far a better baseball player, you're trying to say, right?
I am. So make sure this is quoted and he hears this.
We'll make sure this gets to him. And an annual tradition the Colt 45s do, and you're a big part of the Roy Hobbs World Series down in Fort Myers in October. I went with you guys a couple of years. I've been about 10 times. This is something you've done for a long time, and quite frankly, this might be a good spot for you to do a little recruiting. A lot of guys listen to this. What do you need to know if I'm just the average Joe listening to this here playing in the league about that Roy Hobbs World Series?
Oh, my gosh. Time of your life. I mean, you go down there and you play. I mean, I think I quote this a lot. I mean, you're playing on pretty much golf courses. I mean, it's you are playing on diamonds that are the infield is cut so tight. I mean, you can't dig in batting, you can't dig in pitching. I mean, it's just God. And to think that all the guys that have played there before you. I mean, if you go to Terry Park, for example, Babe Ruth played on that same diamond.
So basically, it's like playing at Heritage, right?
Oh yeah, real close. It's real close.
So if you were going to go down to the World Series, you have to be at least 35. They have age groups of, I believe, 35, 45, and they go from there. Are there any exceptions if you're not 35?
Yeah, you can play 30 and up. So we're allowed to have 3 players under 35. No pitching. I mean, you got to be 35 to pitch. But we can have 3 players under that age limit that can catch. I mean, you can play anywhere. I mean, there's no limitations under that.
So if someone's listening to this right now and is interested in the Roy Hobbs World Series, joining the Colts this October and going down and playing, how can they get a hold of you?
Give me a call. My cell phone, 859-630-2314. Give me a shout. I mean, we could use, always looking for pitching. Yeah, pitching, catching. For sure.
Always needed. And 3 of us played 2 years ago down there. And matter of fact, I hate to even admit this in the podcast, but my co-host over there was named the MVP of our team that week. How about that?
How about that?
That was a good year. I enjoyed that.
The highlight of Ray's baseball career, undoubtedly. He still has the memento from that, I'm sure, hanging proudly in the Sterling home.
And it goes to show there's no weight limit for this ride either.
Oh, man.
Well, hey, wait now. I've dropped some since then.
Yeah, your ass found it though.
Yeah. That's it.
Well, this has gone off the rails. So speaking of the Colt 45s team, you guys have had a couple good wins here lately after kind of a rough start to the season. Beat the Hustle the other night. Some big wins, starting to put it together here in the second half of the season.
I missed that last part. What did you say?
You guys are starting to put things together here second half of the season. Good win over the Hustle, and after kind of a rough start, some losses. Looks like you're back from vacation. Looks like Ren's playing again. Things looking up for the second half for the Colts.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I was off for a month. I mean, then again, we won 3 or 4 games while I was gone, so I was like feeling pretty bad. I'm like, what am I missing here? But it was a great game on Wednesday. Oh my gosh, incredible game. Always against the Hustle. I mean, I think, pretty much we've, at one point or another, we've been able to manage to win a game against every team except for yours, jackass.
Well, let's keep it that way. We're hoping that stat stays. Murph is bugging me every year saying we need to play like 4 or 5 times. Like, well, I kind of like the stat the way it is. You guys did beat the Hooks last year. You beat the Hustle. I think you're right. I think you guys have beaten pretty much everybody. So, hey, I'm happy if we're talking about the same stat next year. I'm happy.
No, I can't stand playing the Sycamore. I want to. Anywhere else? Can we play somewhere else other than Sycamore?
Okay, Finneytown. We'll play at Finneytown.
No Finneytown. You come down here and play at Highlands. We'll get you down here at Highlands.
Oh, jeez.
We do play again this year, though, right?
I had statistically, I've had my worst game ever in all my years of playing against you guys.
Was that the day you grounded into like 3 double plays? I think
it was a doubleheader. Doubleheader. I struck out 3 times and hit in 3 double plays.
Now, do you remember the end of that doubleheader? I tell my guys this all the time, and they probably get tired of me talking about it. Do you remember the second game of that doubleheader? I think you were playing center field, and we ended up with a walk-off win. Do you remember who had that hit?
Yeah, some little jerk. Yeah, I remember who it was.
Oh, okay. It was a very forgettable at bat, huh?
I mean, it was a blast.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a shot. Well, I always tell my guys, I crushed it over the center fielder's head. Never mind the fact he was playing that. It was over the center fielder's head.
No, it was, yeah, I remember it. Gosh, I snuck in. I mean, granted, you can't play that deep out there anyways because you can't hear anything with the highway. And I snuck in and I was like, okay, I got this. And all of a sudden, here comes Jason. Boom! Over my head. I'm like, son of a gun. I just turned around, walked back in.
Ready to hang him up after that one. Absolutely.
Yeah, I was like, it was over.
Well, tell us about how playing with Ray over there. You know, we don't get a lot into that. Tell us about playing with old Sterling over there in the dugout. Any stories you like to tell us?
Oh my God!
Keep it clean.
Okay, so here's a funny one. The other day, it was hot as heck. Last Sunday, and he's like, Murph, you got to get this cut, and it was like a first to third, and Murph obviously plays first. And he's like, no, Murphy's got to go over and cut this.